People are getting nerfed. This frog's being destroyed everywhere. Blizzard is fighting tooth and nail to keep this thing on the rails. But I have to ask you one question. What is MoP Remix? MoP Remix! What is it supposed to be? What is it? What could it be? I'm going to break this down into those 3 simple sections as we work through one of the biggest clown shows that's happened at Blizzard in quite some time. So, section 1, what is MoP Remix supposed to be? Let's look at the marketing, right? We are supposed to become
godlike strength
in an accelerated arena of the MoP expansion. We're going to Mr. Pandaria. It's just 3 months, and they're going to hyper speed us through it. Leveling is going to be super, super fast. We're going to gain these cloaks of infinite potential, as they're called. We're going to be able to pass them to our alts. So you level one character, and then this gets experience bonus. You go to your other character, you level that faster. It goes to your other character, you level that faster. You're going to be able to get all these characters. Along the way, we're going to be collecting unique rewards, things that are specific to MoP Remix. But not only that, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to be able to pick up all those transmogs, all those pets, all those toys that some people have been farming for literally years from this old expansion. You're just going to be able to go to a vendor. You're going to be able to use your bronze currency. You're just going to be able to buy them. Those tusks of mana off, mwah, so easy to pick up. It sounds awesome, doesn't it? And then, at the end of it all, after 3 months, you're going to be able to take those characters that you've leveled up in Remix using all these bonuses and move them over to retail, ready for the brand new War Within expansion. Section 2. What is MoP Remix? In a word, war. Glorious war, a battlefield of rage and frustration, anger, a community divided, the devs versus the players. Oh my god, it's glorious. Every day you log into MoP Remix and you don't know what you're gonna find. It could be anything. You could have been nerfed, you could have been buffed, you could have got a quest, maybe you didn't get the quest. Who knows? It's all a bit of a mystery in MoP Remix. Let's start with the obvious. It isn't what was advertised, kind of. Yes, you can get godlike powers, as the Froggy Bois will talk about shortly, if you grind a hell of a lot. But do you need to? Maybe. Did you get that super amazing cloak to pass to your alts? No, you didn't. And okay, let's clear this up straight away. If you're sat there going, well, Mike, I, as an advanced gentleman, had no prospects of it working the way you suggest. That would be insane. People could catch lots of characters. Yo, shut up, because that is exactly how it works on the PTR, and it's exactly how it comes across in their marketing videos of what MoP Remix is.
In addition, power you earn on your cloak's strongest character is also shared with alternative characters created for the event, making leveling even faster.
But they changed it. They made it so it caps at 100%. It is still faster, but unironically, it's actually not faster than just normal World of Warcraft retail. Which is something that became very apparent to a lot of people, is if you just level a character in normal retail, it's faster than it is in MoP Remix to an extent. Okay, sure, but it's not long. We can invest in it. You collect bronze along the way. That's fine. Ladies and gentlemen, how the Froggy Bois broke everything.
You froggy fuck! Give me room! What did I do? What is wrong? Oh, another one! Let's go!
Yes. For 3 days, 3 glorious days, the little froggies of the Timeless Isle didn't know what hit them. They'd been chilling for like 12 years, just relaxing, when suddenly the big strong boys came and destroyed them all endlessly. What's weird about this is it's actually not remotely surprising that it was found so quickly. Why? It existed back in the day. It's not new. It was the way people used to do the coin farming back on the Timeless Isle. But here's the thing. It was a very long time ago, and likelihood is the devs who worked on MoP Remix probably never played Mr. Pandaria. And they certainly didn't play it to the point that they were hardcore grinding froggies in order to get their lesser charms. But the players were. They're old school. They've been around for a real long time. They're wizened. So, What did this do? And if you're not sure what it is, you killed frogs, they instantly respawned, they gave you lesser charms, you turned them all in, you got a lot of chests, and you got so much bronze that you were able to literally accelerate months into what MoP Remix could be. By day 3, there were people with capped gear. And if you don't know, and this is relevant, the gear is the most important part, not the cloak. The gear is the most important part, costing 500,000 bronze in total to actually get that gear up to the plus 500 item level. This is where the real power comes from. And suddenly, people were seeing people do literally 50-man raids worth of damage compared to what they were doing, and it's only been live for 3 days. How is this possible? Well, it's those damn Froggy Bois. Now, this is where it gets really interesting for me, because now a divide has occurred. The people who could be a Froggy Boy and the people who couldn't be a Froggy Boy, or thought it was an exploit, or thought it was something that Blizzard would get angry about, and so they left it alone. And those players who were doing literally 50-man raids worth of damage were now ruining the MoP Remix experience for some players. They would go into your LFR and crush and solo the whole raid. They would go into your normal raid and solo it. Some people loved this. I can basically AFK and this guy just kills everything. Or you could now do heroic raids without any issue whatsoever. Mythic we'll get to in a second. Then there were the other guys. This is just destroying everything I want to do. This is rubbish. How do I get a Froggy Boy? You need to be nerfed. What's going on? Because Blizzard then went to war. They systematically started nerfing every single way people had found to abuse their system of collecting power. They went through everything. The frogs got nerfed, but then the cranes rose to power. Then they got nerfed. Then Heart of Fear farming rose to power, and then that got nerfed with no compensation in sight. They were actively attacking like whack-a-mole every single aspect that people were finding in order to get around their nerfs. Blizzard was sending a message. This is not what we intended for MoP Remix. We wanted MoP Remix to be a nice 3-month experience where you could grind up your bronze, and then towards the end, you would be very, very, very powerful. Blizzard steps in. They nerf the Froggers. They bring down the hammer on the Froggers. How did they do that? They run some sort of calculation to people who have killed an unreasonable amount of frogs, and then they nerfed their cloaks. Now, what did I just say about gear? It's not the cloak. That power comes from your gear. Did they nerf the gear? No. No, they didn't. Did people lose a lot of power? Some, but they were still absolutely devastating everybody, doing several millions of DPS or whatever it's supposed to be, and crushing everybody. In effect, it was a nerf to appease the angry. A nerf has been applied to the Froggy Bois. But the reality is, it didn't actually do much whatsoever. So, maybe a little bit of a symmetry, a little balance has been achieved across the player base. They're happy somebody got nerfed, yet still the results remain the same. But this is where the issue comes in. The players want that power because they've seen it exists, and they really want it. And to this day, in fact, just yesterday as we're recording this, more farms were found. And what do you know, Blizzard? What do you know? Immediately, the pre-made group finder filled relentlessly with people hunting down new farms because they want that power, they want that bronze, they want to be strong because you know why? It's really fun. Does this conversation sound familiar? It should, because I made this exact same argument in Shadowlands with Torghast.
And you will know my name is the Lord when I lay my vengeance upon thee.
The original Torghast was a carnival of chaos. You would literally destroy everything and you felt super fun. You were just blasting in a way that the game never intended, and it was fine. Why? It was in a nice enclosed structure. It didn't affect anything else in the game. It was just a fun experience for people to go on, and that's what people clearly crave by the amount of people who are desperate to find any way around what Blizzard is doing. And not only for the power, but of course, to gain all the rewards they want. Yes, you don't technically need to buy everything. No, a lot of the stuff is actually available in-game to this day, yet it is plagued by 1% drop rates, or people have literally been farming for years and years and couldn't get it. So, what to do? Section 3, my friends. What could it be? I think this is the most interesting part. MoP Remix and any expansions remix should be the most exciting events that people look forward to in World of Warcraft. It's timed kind of perfectly, assuming that you don't know Kata Classic exists, and we'll get to that in a second, because it's the Fated season. Fated was a great idea at first, but now it's like, don't really care, right? Like, a lot of people are like, yeah, it's all right, I log in, I do my raid, I've done it before. Fated is kind of, it's a queef in the night. And what we're looking for now is something alternative. Remix comes along. You could time it with the end of every expansion, and you could do it for so much. Hell, I would play Warlords of Draenor Remix. Why? Raids and stuff are super fun. Let's get it done, let's get it happening. But that's not what it is right now, but it still could be. This has highlighted something very important. Years ago, when I spoke with Ian and I went to the campus, one of the things that we talked about a lot, and I spoke about it again at BlizzCon, is Blizzard's inability to readjust the ship, to change where the train is going once it's left the station. Blizzard's ability to pivot the massive, monolithic boat that is World of Warcraft is really difficult. But it shouldn't be in the case of things like MoP Remix. They are still unable to adapt in a fun, creative way for a video game when their player base is doing things they don't intend. Instead, they desperately try to readjust the ship back onto its intended path. Blizzard, I would say, have a look at what Helldivers 2 is doing. Helldivers 2 is one of the most popular games in recent memory, and one of the greatest aspects of it is the devs literally responding to what their community is doing while it's in fluid motion. They adjust, they react, they adjust, they react, and the player base feels actively involved and invested in the world they've created, and you have that world. And not only that, this world is set to explode in 3 months' time. It's going to go away. It's going to flutter into fairy dust. It doesn't matter what happens in the enclosed environment, similar to Torghast of Mists of Pandaria Remix. I am baffled at the way they are just trying to slow it all down, drag it down. And what's made it even more interesting is people doing the math have calculated, hey, the best way of getting bronze, guys, log in, do your dailies, and then farm every single raid and Siege of Orgrimmar 3 times, and that'll get you a good solid amount of bronze, and if you do that every single day, in about 3-4 weeks, you'll be done. I've done this. It takes hours. This is not reasonable for a great many amount of people. It's not reasonable for the guy who's working all day, comes home, has a couple of hours to play, and wants to jump in. The people who I've seen on the forums and on Reddit who are saying like, yeah, it's cool, dude, you just farm every single raid every day. You go in, you blast, and the MoP raids are really long, so you can get it done in like 4 or 5 hours. Very few people have 4 or 5 hours, especially those who are playing back in Mists of Pandaria and are still playing today, in order to do that. It's not reasonable. It's also not reasonable to expect people to play for 3 months in bits and bobs and try and get the things they want. Why? You literally just released Kata Classic. You literally just launched a brand new expansion for a lot of people who love to play Classic. Not only that, you have the War Within Alpha happening at the same time, and Season 4. There's too much stuff to be like, okay, dedicate all your time over here. People should absolutely be able to join this in like a month and a half's time and get the things they want, because you, literally Blizzard, not somebody else, not Final Fantasy XIV or whatever, are releasing other content that people want to do. Why in the hell did the devs not embrace the Froggy Bois? We logged into a nerf. So why in the hell are we not having fun with this, Blizzard? Because you used to do this stuff. Why is there not a giant frog now roaming the lands? Why not change Undasta into a frog, or the Shah of Frog, or the Shah of Froggy Fear? You're just changing the model. Doesn't make any difference. You could even have really good fun with this. If you were a Froggy Boy, yeah, you got nerfed, but perhaps you've got a big frog on your head now, right? Yes, you can remove it for those people who are like, my transmog is perfect and it must be immaculate at all times. I get it, but still, it would have been really fun. The non-froggers could have been glowing. They could have had a sparkle around them as a pure, insane, enlightened person. The giant frog might be neutral to the non-froggers, aggressive to the froggers. There are so many things Blizzard could do in this enclosed environment that they seem unable or unwilling to give time to, despite the fact, if you make it so there's a direct player interaction, cause and effect between the developers and the world, Your players will love it. They will be so excited for whatever the next thing is, because if you create an environment of dev versus player and you embrace it and you have fun with it, because ultimately, Blizzard, you have all the power, my God, would this be a crazy circus to be involved in. And you know it has no effect on retail. It was super fun. I do look at the players divided because we've created social pariahs. On the one hand, we've got the it's reasonable people. Yeah, I log in, do my dailies, do my raids, I've worked it out. I want this mount and this mount and this mount, and I'll get it done in like 12 days. And I think it's all in good shape right now. All the way to the other extreme of people who are like, I just want to know what it feels like to have like plus 500 item level and just literally be crushing things to death. But I do not, which I think is reasonable, want to farm every single Mr. Pandaria raid every single day. You want to talk about burnout? You want to moan about Plunderstorm? Really? And you want to spend hours every day doing the same raids over and over again? You want to do Galacross 3 times a day for weeks? Are you high? Are you high? Because that is nuts. And yes, people want that exclusive reward that comes from killing Mythic Garrosh. And as we know, the tuning in Mythic is so nutty that you really need some juiced out Froggy Bois to really get through that. Or it's going to take you a long time to do. For me, Mr. Pandaria Remix could be, or Remix in general, literally the most exciting thing that's coming all year. It's going to be a clown show. It's going to be a fiesta, full of rewards and full of Blizzard just having a few members of staff having fun and responding directly to what the players are doing. There's so much potential here, and this has highlighted it. But right now, it's a lot of frustration. It's a lot of bitterness. It's a lot of people going, I just farmed hours and hours of bronze. So do I upgrade my gear to feel good and have fun? Or do I buy the Druid Mythic set? That's not fun. Why is it the same currency? Loads of ideas have been put forward about scaling the bronze and all that. I'm confused as to why this opportunity hasn't been seized. But it does, once again, in closing here, it highlights Blizzard's inability to steer the ship. They have a plan, goes from A to B. That's the route. Doesn't matter if stormy weather is approaching or anything, we go through. We just keep on the track. And I think it's a little bit of a missed opportunity, but we're less than a month into Remix. There's so much opportunity here for fun. Because every day, like I said, you log in, I don't know what you're going to find. Because ultimately, this might sound like complaints. I'm having so much fun with MoP Remix. It's so fun. It's so goofy, so dumb, ward cheesing. Blowing bosses up in like 2 seconds and then going over here and doing this and that and then being like, oh, maybe I'll buy this now. It's like, oh, my item level's going up, but God, it's expensive. It's a bit of a chore and there's so much opportunity for greatness. Ultimately, I love Remix. I want it to be so much more, but I'd love to see your thoughts on it as well. So thank you for listening. Have a great day and I'll see you soon. Bye, guys.